Devi in her true glory. So beautiful.
Celia, remember the time when Nirupa first met her god form?
7 years back it was.
It was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
You were in conversation with Nirupa, a seeker, and Tarunan Celia Cherian, co-founders, Creator's Child, and Devadara, Healing.
I was going through a very difficult time a few years back, both professionally and personally. This was the time when I had quit my job for taking care of my children, and then after 8 years, I wanted to again come back and work, start my work basically. This was to support my family. And now I was confused whether I had to get back to my IT industry or get into something less stressful. I was worried about my parents. I was worried about my kids' future as well. And I reached out to Celia and Tarun. They are my gurus whom I reach out to when I need some aura insights and healing.
Well, seekers and healers, what is the first thing that you should do?
Let's look at her aura.
The aura revealed the ability to take responsibility. She was obviously very capable, but carried a certain degree of baggage and fear. But most magnificently, there was a shining light in her divine body.
They did an aura scan and they gave me very practical advices, some meditation as well.
As we saw how challenging her problems were, we realized she needed a deep healing. She needed divine help. Sila, there is a divine being behind Nirupa. Do you think we should activate it?
Yes, of course.
There was an incredible crackle of energy as we started giving Nirupa healing, as we started taking her deeper. It was as if the divine itself was engaging in the process, pulling, drawing her up, raising her consciousness to stratospheric levels.
I felt a huge surge of energy coming from their hands. And when it was going on, I saw this bright light right in front of my eyes. And after that, I saw a divine face, a huge face coming right in front of me. She had this big bindi, red bindi, and a beautiful eyes. They were shining brighter and bright. And she had this straight nose, a divine smile. Even though she was so huge, I was not perturbed with her. In fact, it was as if I was going and meeting my mother. There was so much of love in her eyes, so much of care. I forgot all the pain that I was, all the bitterness. I could only see her. Tears were rolling from my eyes. I didn't know why. I cried and cried and cried, and I went and hugged her.
At the time, Nirupa saw her goddess. She had tears of joy in her eyes. We were so moved.
I'm crying, 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 and I go and hug her. And she puts her arms around me. That the hands are so gentle, but they are so sturdy. I've never felt a more secure place than this ever before. And I leave my all my insecurity, my fears are all gone. I cry, 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 and I tell her, why did you leave me, Amma? எங்க போனீங்க என்னை விட்டு ஏன் போனீங்க? She laughs and she says, I was always there with you. It was you who never hurt me.
Call to me, and I will come as a promise the divine offers us through Nirupa. After all, she is the Divine Mother.
I was talking to my cousin who's also into spirituality. So I was telling her all about that session, how I met my Devi. And she asked, how did you see? What did you see? How was the Devi? That's when I got a chance to describe what I saw that day. And that day, I saw my mother there, the Divine Mother. She was right in front of me with those beautiful eyes, It was shining so bright, brighter than the sun. And she had this big bindi, big red bindi, something bigger than what Usha Uthup used to wear. And those eyes, I can't forget those eyes. She had a sharp nose and a beautiful smile on her face. Even though she was very big, but I was not scared of her. It was more like I was going and meeting my mother.
When people claim to see a divine being, we keep checking and cross checking. We look at the aura, we question the divine being. Is it good? Is it truly divine? Only when we are really sure do we turn round and welcome that being into the seeker's life. As the years passed, Nirupa's closeness to the divine increased.
The session with Tarun and Celia, where I saw the Devi, my mother, was 7 years ago. But over that period of time, I've always seen her, I've always felt her being around with me, and it's been more often than not, I've gone and slept on her lap. Most of the nights, I've always slept on her lap, and the morning that I get up would be very refreshing. I've seen her around me, I've felt her presence. Even in work, sometimes I would be stuck, and there she would be there to help me and support me. I am a techie, but I've always seen her being more supportive and helping me out, and I'm working better. I'm handling my job, my kids, all the stress that is around me in a much, much better way. I asked the Devi if she has anything to tell us, her children, anything, any message to the world. This is what she had to say. She says, trust, have the faith. It's going to be difficult times ahead, but she's going to be with us. She's going to take us through. Just to believe in her.
Nirupa and the divine are tangoing together. The divine is part of her work, her life, even her sleep. And so we were pondering over it. And then we asked the divine, but what is it that the gods like most about a seeker? And we listened and we got a profound answer. And they said that most seekers come to them asking for favors. But some seekers were asking for favors, ask for something more. They're asking for the divine itself. They're asking for a closeness with the divine. And when the divine sees that and believes that that is truly happening, they take the seeker in hand and begin a process of molding them and shaping them. Shaping them into what, you may ask?
Shaping them into candles of light.
Thank you for subscribing to our channel, visiting creativechild.com, and growing with God.